Matthew, I want to make sure you get off mute first, but I wanted to I wanted to ask. I mean, before I mean, not just the 200, but I mean, obviously finishing one spot ahead of Florida there, and that and that 4x4 to get you guys up to third. What does that mean for this group?
It felt really good. But traditionally, we're more known for like multi field events, but our sprint groups had a goal earlier this year in the off season that we wanted to prove. We're a sprint school too, and I think we showed that making strong performances in the 400, 200, and 4x4 all season long.
The way those 200s went at SECs, I mean, obviously, you know, it's so hard when it's a sectional thing. Just how blessed were you to know that you were in the same races as Terrence, so you didn't have to be clock watching?
Oh, to be honest, I wasn't really like looking at the heats before. I felt like my biggest focus coming in was I wanted to run my own race because I tend to let my competition, like if I see myself not closing in on someone or someone closing in on me, I'll start straining. And it's really what happened last time. So my main focus was keep my form the whole race and just run my own race, but let the nature of the competition amp me up and help me run faster rather than letting it dictate how I actually run.
How much do you feel like you've grown and developed in this particular event in the past year? I remember when I talked to you at SEC Indoor last year, it was still kind of like figuring out, you know, how to attack all the curves. And I mean, obviously to be now a 2019 guy and the world leader, how much have you evolved in a year?
Yeah, a lot. My opener last year in the 200 was a 2090. And I remember you interviewing me after my 2066, which was my PR last year. And you saying like, oh, you like, how did it feel to run that after maybe not getting off the start you wanted to get? And I was like, oh, it feels really good. But now I PR by almost half a second in the indoor two. And I can't even describe how good it feels coming so far in an environment that I haven't been used to. But yeah, it feels really good, and I'm excited to keep progressing.
Matthew, you're like the Swiss Army knife of track and field right now. What is your best event and what is your favorite event?
My best event I feel like is the 200. And I say my favorite event is also 200 just because I also feel like I'm good at the 4, but also the 1. So I feel like I can use my 100 speed and my 400 strength, combine it into a good 200. So I feel like right now it's my favorite event.
Okay. Where do you see yourself in the long jump? Is that something you're just messing around with a little bit, or is that going to be a serious attack?
I want to keep it going. At SECs had a good jump, 807. Yesterday, I think it was 775, which isn't bad. It's an average day for me. So, I mean, I wasn't happy with it, but I feel like with my speed and a lot of tweaks to my technique, I can really get out there to the 810s, maybe even push 820 and score some more points for my team. But we'll see how outdoor progresses because, of course, the 100 is added in, the 4x1, 4x4. So,
Matthew, obviously you have such a great sense of history. I mean, what about that long jump competition yesterday? I mean, obviously, you know, three guys from your own conference, you know, plus Isaac Grimes from Florida State, and obviously what Javon pulled off as Glenn complimented you as the Swiss Army knife. I mean, obviously Javon Harrison's a pretty unique unicorn talent as well. So how impressive was that?
Yeah, it was fun to be a part of. It's like long jump this year is so deep, both here and at SECs, was by far the best long jump competition I've ever been in. And, you know, I love that competitive edge, and it's always fun to jump up against really talented athletes.
Matthew, what was going through your mind on the home stretch of that 200? That was pretty exciting finish between you and Terrence.
Yeah, basically, so I kind of touched on this earlier in the interview, but my main problem the whole season is right as that second turn comes, I start grinding and pushing and lose my form. But I held it that whole curve, and I knew I was still in the lead by a couple of steps. But I also know Terrence is a really good finisher, so or at least thought to myself, like, you came this far, you executed this much, just keep your form, keep turning over. I heard my coach yelling at me, turn over the legs, keep your arms pumping. So I just kept that in my mind, and I felt a close finish, and I'm glad that we had a good competition and we could both put on good performances.
And any other questions for Matthew? All right, thanks a lot. Congratulations. Good luck outdoors.
Thank you. Y'all have a good one.